Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Wednesday, August 10th, 2022. I'm Jeremy Crosby. Hope you had a wonderful day yesterday. Glad you're tuning in with us today for TF. And it was a busy day yesterday, election day for the fall primary election. And we'll have you some of the results from last night. Not on the candidates. You already know who won. But in Fitchburg, I'd like to share the details of who came out to vote. So we'll break all that down for you and find out the percentage of Fitchburg voting for this fall primary election coming up in the headlines. We'll also have today talking a little bit about inflation, bring back an interview we had with the Better Business Bureau on how to keep the cost down during inflation. Break that down for you coming up. Plus, Community Night Out. It was a great night last night for Community Night Out. If you didn't have a chance to come out and see all of the great activities, nonprofits, and of course the police department, Fitchburg Police Department, hosting this gathering, having the community conversations. We'll take you out to that. It was a fun night at the park and had a chance to talk with Logan, our community officer. We'll have that for you coming up as well. And for those of you who said hi last night, who watched the show, hey, it was nice to see you, and hi to you, and thank you for watching. It made my night for sure. But first, let's get to those headlines, and we start with the election results coming in last night. These are the unofficial results, so those will get certified later on. But let's jump into this. First off, just the totals by district, which, again, it's always fun to break this down. So including absentee voters, let's take a look at the totals here. So district number 1, you had just over 1,166, 1,760 in district 2, 1,300 in District 3, and 1,900 in District 4. Yeah, that totaled out at 6,275 number of absentee voters. In District 1, just over 500, over 700 in District 2. About halfway there at 556 in District 3, 773 in District 4, at a total of 2,562. And then number of registrations at the polls. You can register at the polls or before, your choice. 36 District number 1, District 2 at 64, 139 at District 3, District 4 had 56, and that totaled out at 295. Total registered by district, 3,578 in District 1, 4,451 in District 2, 4,027 in District 3, and 4,728 in District number 4. And that totaled out at 16,784 that voted. Let's take a look at the percentages here for turnout. In District number 1 had 32.6, District 2 at 39.5, District 3 34.2%. And District 4 had 41.7. That turns the percentage turnout for the city at 37.4% for the fall primary. And the absentee voting still being busy, from talking with the clerks. But thank you to all of the inspection workers, or inspector workers and poll workers, and of course our city clerk's department for a fabulous job again on the election. And we'll have all of that share the details online when we post up the story, where you can see all the results by candidate in Fitchburg on who won. All right, road closure to tell you about. New road closure is coming in this morning. This one is going to be on Brine Road between Kane and South Saline Road. It'll be on August 15th through August 19th. They'll be replacing this road's culvert. So just like the last time, this will depend on the weather. If there's any changes, we will send out information. But for now, that project is scheduled for August 15th through the 19th. We'll remind you as it gets closer. Brush collection week continues. If you haven't got your brush out there, or you have seen that maybe your neighbor's brush hasn't collected, then you might still have a chance to get it out there. This goes through the rest of this week. Brush needs to be on the curb by 6:30 a.m. on the brush collection week. Brush will be picked up between Monday and Saturday, but not necessarily on the refuse collection day. Next collection date will be the week of August 29th. If you have any questions or think your brush was missed, you can call Pelletieri at 608-257-4285. Board of Review is scheduled. Open book ended today. Now we go to Board of Review. Board of Review for the City of Fitchburg, Dane County will meet on the 31st day of August from starting at 9 a.m. Anyone wishing to file an objection must contact the city clerk to complete and submit the required objection form supplied by the city prior to appearing before the Board of Review. Objections will be scheduled to be heard by the board in the order in which they are received by the city clerk. So please, if you want to file objection or have any questions, you can go to our city's website, and the assessing page explains how that process works. Gift cards for guns will be happening this weekend. It's a partnership between Dane County Sheriff's, Madison Police Department, and Dane County government. And this event collects any types of guns here. So you get gift cards for returning guns, somewhere between $10 to $25 for BB guns, pellet guns, and face mile guns. I'm not sure what that one is. Revolvers are at $50 for a gift card, $100 for small auto handguns, rifles, shotguns, $200 for ghost guns, and $250 for assault rifles. And also the Boys and Girls Club is going to be adding an initiative as well for an additional $250 gift card for the first 5 assault style rifles that are turned in at the Saturday event. So first 5 that come in will get $250 from the sheriff, Madison Police, and get $250, and they get another $500 for turning in an assault style weapon. So please, if you're interested in doing this, read the guidelines and rules ahead of time before you do come out. They do have specific rules to make sure everybody stays safe at this event, but definitely a good chance to help keep our community safe, and make sure you spread the word to help get the word out there for the event. I said word twice. Hilarious. All right. Turning our attention to the August law of the month, drive sober. Every trip behind the wheel for impaired driving is deadly, preventable crime in Wisconsin roadways. We kind of touched on this a little bit on Monday, but I didn't have enough time. Today I've got some time, and I wanted to definitely get into this. So what are we talking about here? It says impaired driving is illegal, dangerous, and can be deadly. Still, thousands of drivers get behind the wheel while drunk or high every year. Someone is injured or killed in an impaired driving crash every 2 hours in Wisconsin, which is a startling statistic there. That's why the Wisconsin State Patrol's August Law of the Month is a reminder of the harmful consequences of driving while under the influence. And this is a preventable crime. Preventable crime is a serious traffic safety risk in Wisconsin. Last year, alcohol-related crashes killed 166 people, and another 74 others died in crashes involving drugs. If you feel different, you drive different. Alcohol steadily decreases a person's ability to drive safely, so it's important to recognize when it's okay to drive. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, driving with even a small amount of impairment can cause a decline in vision, multitasking, coordination, and response. It is illegal in every state to drive with a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher. Drivers with a blood alcohol count of 0.08 are about 4 times more likely to crash than a driver with a blood alcohol of 0, or 12 times more likely to crash when the blood alcohol content is above or is at 0.15. Drive sober or get pulled over. That's what you need to know here. Impaired driving is dangerous and preventable year-round, but can particularly be deadly as people celebrate the final weeks of summer, like the Labor Day holiday. Raise awareness of the risks. Wisconsin State Patrol will join law enforcement agencies across the nation for its annual Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over campaign. The stepped-up law enforcement runs August 17th through Labor Day. And please plan ahead when you are traveling when it comes to the holidays, so you can stay safe out there, including if you plan to celebrate. Identify a sober-designated driver and find a safe alternative way home. Never allow someone who is impaired to get behind the wheel. Protect yourself and your passenger every time by making sure you buckle up, put the phones down, and watch your speed, and eliminate distractions. If you suspect a driver that is impaired, call 911 and provide as much information about the driver, vehicle, and location. All right, that does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we open up our digest. We're going to talk about keeping the cost down in enduring inflation right here on Talking Fitchburg.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household. but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today for the Better Business Bureau here in Southern Wisconsin. We have Tiffany Schultz, friend of the show, and so much more. Tiffany, thank you for joining me. How you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me today.
We are talking about inflation, and I promised you that I would be good and not tell you why I'm upset about my chips being more expensive. But we want to kind of explain what's kind of going on here, and BBB's got some tips with dealing with higher prices. So we've got the insights here to help you maybe save a few or just reconsider your everyday thinking as we go through this inflation. So set us up here. Inflation. It's on the rise. Why?
We've all seen inflation go up in the last year or so. Everything from gas prices to housing prices to feeling the sticker shock at the grocery store. And we have some tips on how you can look at what you're spending and maybe avoid some of this inflation that we're seeing in the amount that we're seeing. So, we probably won't be able to control 100% of it, but we can help you look at your budget and make some changes so that it's not hurting as much when you go to the grocery store or getting a tank of gas.
I think that's the thing is it comes at such a weird time because we're coming out of the COVID thing. Everything has been disrupted. Everything is all over the place, playing part of a role in all of this. But if you can change some of your habits and focus on some things on the positive side, you will get through this. Everybody will get through it. And I like some of these tips. First one is know what you're spending. This whether we were inflation or not, this has existed for many, many, many moons.
Technology makes this super easy too. All you have to do is compare your credit card statements and your bank statements to this time of last year. What are some things that maybe you're spending on that you didn't spend on last year? Or what's a little bit more? Are you stopping for coffee every day? Can you cut that back to maybe 3 days a week, 2 days a week? Treat yourself. Get coffee from home instead of buying it from your favorite coffee shop. So those are just some of the things that you can look at. Are you out shopping more, going to the big box and just kind of browsing? Maybe, look at what you did last year. Were you spending that much? Compare it to 2020, because 2020, we were still on lockdown. And if you lived without it in 2020, you might still be able to live without it today. So just look at that budget, look at your spending and see where you can cut.
Yeah, that's not easy by no means. And I am the first person that you would not want to ask to do that. I am not always good on that, but you're right. Use the tools that are out there and you will be shocked on how much you are spending. And then hopefully you can find some savings there. This one's, I call this a sticky area, and I like this one. Stick to your vehicle. It's hard because you hear about it. Well, I could sell my used vehicle for what I got it for a long time ago, but then you got a flip side. You can't really go and buy a more expensive vehicle and afford that. So your tips are good here on this one.
We've all heard what's happening in the auto industry. We've driven past dealerships and they have very minimal inventory on their lots. It's likely better right now to keep the vehicle that you have and pay for the repairs than trade it in and get a new one. Cars are selling for above asking price, above sticker price right now. So it might be better just to invest in the repair than to go ahead and buy a new one. Also, if you're in a lease, this is a really good tip. If you're into a lease, maybe 2 years ago, you signed the paperwork, it might be best to look at your paperwork and possibly buy that vehicle, because that sales price, what you can buy it for, is going to be in that contract that you have with the dealership. And that price will maybe 2020 prices, 2019 prices, not today's prices. So it might be in your best interest to go ahead and buy that lease out rather than trading it in for a new lease at the end of the lease. So really look carefully at your contract.
And I'd say be patient too. I would think with any of these things, buying a house, buying a car, whatever, be patient, because you're with the limited inventory. You can't probably walk out there like you used to and see something on the lot and be happy, and it's just not going to work that way necessarily. So good info there. Next one is getting smarter with the grocery shopping. This is a big one. This is where we've seen a lot of hits on different food items. What do you know on this front?
Meat and fish have gone up substantially at the grocery store. Even some of the other items that we're shopping for in the aisle. You know, I talked with you, Jeremy, about chips. You have to look for shrinkflation. And that's happened with many products too, where the price is the same, but the size of the package has gone down. So look at that. We're seeing that in certain areas just to keep the price consistent, but you're getting less. Also, it's a good idea to use coupons, stock up when you see a sale, shop at big boxes versus your local grocery store. Everybody likes to support their local grocery store. You can still do that for some of your favorite items, but some of those pantry items, price shop and buy in bulk. Buy in bulk is always a good thing too, especially if you have a wholesale membership to like Costco. That's a really good way to save some money too.
Yeah, you definitely can do some smart shopping. I like to mix my shopping up with sale items at my local, and then pick up the pantries, like you said, hit the bigger, but price compare too. Definitely do your research. I love when you say that too on the show. Do your research. That's where it's at for sure. Take advantage of gas price savings. Another good one. How in the world can you take on gas price savings? Tell us.
Some of those grocery stores do have fuel perks. So shop at a store that offers you those fuel perks for every $100. Sometimes you get 10 cents off a gallon. It really adds up. There's also some super cool apps out there that you can download to your phone. First of all, do your research. Make sure it is a legitimate app that compares to gas prices in the area. So if you're 10 to 15 cent difference in going one way or the other, it might be worth it to go to a different gas station instead of your favorite one.
Yeah, that's really important. We were talking about that too, but we'll save that one for another day. Next one, negotiate better prices. So you got contracts in your cable TV, your gym member, whatever you got, you can always ask. It's not a bad thing to ask about those contracts.
Absolutely. It doesn't hurt to call up the customer service number on your credit card or maybe your streaming service, magazine subscription, and ask if there's a lower price available. But the key is to be nice. Don't demand anything, because the nicer you are, the rep is going to help you a little bit better if you're kind to them and you ask them versus demand a discount.
Yeah, and I think this next one will be your kind of wrap up one, is enjoy what you already have. Boy, is that hard to think about some days during everything that's going on.
We are so involved in so many different things in our life, and money buys happiness, right? It doesn't always buy happiness though. Instead of taking that vacation, maybe do a staycation and enjoy the local things around your area, or instead of starting a new project, work on a project that you already have going. So a lot of things to enjoy, the simple things in life. You can do an up north Wisconsin vacation and enjoy the lakes versus to go to the ocean and be gone a week. So lots of things that you can do around here and spend your money locally and save a few bucks.
Yeah, not a bad idea. All right, Tiffany, if people want to learn more on a good way, I mean, there's a little bit of everything in here. I think of every press release I've ever read is probably in here, a piece of it. So if people want to learn more about what we talked about today or other great information, where can they find that?
Head on over to bbb.org. You can click on our news tab and read about these budgeting tips and more.
All right, Tiffany, thank you so much for the help. I feel better about inflation now.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, maybe a little bit. Yeah, we appreciate Tiffany. We'll get her back here next month with some more great topics. And again, check out bbb.org for more information. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be flood next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihavepreddiabetes.org.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg in the guest segment, and today we're going to take you out to the community night out held last night at McKee Farms Park, and Jeremy was out there and had a chance to talk with Logan. Let's take you out to that event right now. All right, we're out at Community Night Out on a beautiful August night, 2022. Logan, when you put this together, you didn't think the weather was going to be as beautiful as it is tonight, and such a great turnout.
Yeah, it's when you pick an event date, you never know what the weather's going to be like, and we have excellent weather for this event, and everybody that said that they were going to show up has showed up, and we have a really great showing of participants tonight.
Let's go through that because it's represented very well, both community partners, our staff, and of course the police department.
Yeah, so we have Hy-Vee has generously donated food. Mission Barbecue is here with barbecue. Wisconsin Packing Company and Bubbler has donated beverages for the evening. And then we have the Fitchburg Public Library, the police department, the fire department, EMS, the Humane Society, and so many others that are out here celebrating with us.
And we talked about this earlier when we did the preview for this, but for those who didn't get to see it, why is Community Night Out so important?
Community Night Out is a collaborative partnership for the neighborhoods and the citizens to come out and meet the police department and to build safer places to live.
Logan, as far as policing, and again, we talked a little bit about this, but as part of your new position with the Fitchburg Police Department, it is community outreach. Events like this are awesome, but it doesn't stop here. And tell us, what are you doing that is getting out in the community past today?
Yeah, so Community Night Out is a night for everybody to come and see us, and then in my daily role as neighborhood officer, it's very important to me that I get out and go to meet people where they live in their neighborhoods to see what their challenges are and to help them overcome them from a police department standpoint.
Logan, as part of Community Night Out and building those relationships, you've been an officer for a long time. What do you as officers approaching community members, what do you guys talk about? What do you get going? What's the conversation you want to have?
It's always easy to start the conversation with food because everybody likes good food and everybody has a good food story that they can tell. So that's an easy way to break the barrier with people. And then the conversation just leads on from there on usually neighborhood-specific challenges that people are seeing, and we provide our best ability for solutions for those.
For some of you who didn't make it to tonight, let's talk about the importance of police, what the Fitchburg Police does on a day-to-day basis. What would be a question that might come up here tonight, Logan, or stuff that you would want to share to community members who didn't make it, didn't have a chance to talk to the officers and get to know us?
So I think there's a lot of mystery sometimes around what police officers do, and I alluded to this in the preview for this, is that this is just a great time for people to come out and ask questions and understand why we do what we do, so to speak. And we can answer those questions in a community park that people feel safe at. And just do our best to interact with them on a human basis. As you'll notice, a lot of us here are not dressed in uniform. Some of us are in uniforms. I think taking the uniform off sometimes helps to break that barrier to show that we're humans and that we live just a neighborhood over from a lot of the people that are coming out to events like this.
All right, no more tough questions here, Logan, I promise. As we close out the night, Logan, thank you to all the partners, certainly, that for being out here, I think is a part of your job tonight to say thank you. But we need to say thank you to you for putting this together because absolutely gorgeous night. He prayed for the good weather, we know that. But Logan, for people to stay in touch with the police department after today, want to get in contact with you and keep the conversation going, how should they do so?
You can always visit us on our website. You can always call the non-emergency dispatch number, 270-4300, and our dispatcher can get you connected to whoever you may need to talk to. And I think what tonight sums down to is that every great police project starts with a community partnership.
There you have it. Logan, your community police officer, Community Night Out 2022 on August 9th is gorgeous. And I say that because I want to mark this day because it's a good day here in Fitchburg. And that does it for me. We'll send it back to Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy. Like Jeremy, toss back to Jeremy. Okay. We'll say thank you again to everybody who came out to the event. Thank you to the nonprofits. And Mission Barbecue was a hit. That sold out really fast. When I say sold out, they donated that food. So thank you again, everybody who came out in the Fitchburg Police Department for putting on an awesome event. Take a quick break, wrap up the show next. You're watching TF.
Considerando el número de desastres naturales que ocurren en los Estados Unidos, es probable que en la próxima década todas las regiones tengan que lidiar con alguna clase de emergencia. Entre la escuela, los deportes y la vida social, es probable que cuando suceda usted no esté con sus hijos. ¿Saben ellos qué hacer? Listo.gov/niños tiene información y herramientas educativas para facilitar esta conversación. Cuando llegue el momento, se sentirán preparados y no asustados. Así que hable con su familia hoy mismo. En la región central de Estados Unidos hay un promedio de más de 850 tornados cada año y últimamente el número de inundaciones también ha aumentado. Por eso, lo más probable es que vuelva a haber más tornados e inundaciones en el área. Y con tantas actividades, es probable que cuando suceda usted no esté con sus hijos. ¿Saben ellos qué hacer? Listo.gov/niños tiene información para facilitar esta conversación. Cuando llegue el momento, se sentirán preparados y no asustados. Así que hable con su familia hoy mismo.
Así que no le cuento todo y sobre de encajar, siento como que me va a decir que es una ridiculez.
Puedo entender eso completamente.
Bailando entre dos vidas, el pasado y el futuro.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life's lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for the day. I want to thank all of our guests and Logan for helping us out on the community night. He did such a great job. Have a good night, everybody.